Okay. So good evening, all of you. So today it's a very interesting day, and I'm so excited today because this is the first panel discussion which happens in Career Coffee. And the topic is so vital and so dynamic. That's all talking about. We are going to talk about entrepreneurship post COVID-19 wave. And in my all presentations, I've kept there's a question mark after post because we don't know whether it's going to be post or we are going to coexist and collaborate even with COVID-19 in coming days. So we have three eminent panelists here. Let me introduce them without much delay. We have Srikant Patar. So Srikant Patar is an entrepreneur and industrialist, a serial entrepreneur. There's some delay in network connectivity, so the video will be shown soon. So don't worry about it. So he's an industrialist, angel investor. He mentors a lot of companies, including a company in Malaysia. So he is mentoring people, and the successful launches happens even during this Corona time. So let's welcome Srikanti as well. He will join us soon. We have Mr. Manoj Govind. So Manoj Govind is a very eminent trainer, executive vice president of our CLAP International School of Business. He is a people coach. He trains a lot of people, and even during this lockdown season, I can say he would have taken more than 50 to 70 hours of sessions, so training sessions. So let's welcome Manoj Govindji as well. So welcome Srikant sir once again as you got disconnected in between. So welcome to the discussion about entrepreneurship. And we have one more person here who's very, eminent, dynamic, young entrepreneur. So I have to say that he has even successful exits with very big time startups. So he's a very good investor and analyst. And you can even expect him. He's making money even during this COVID-19 time. He has made probably I can say about 300% of increase on his investment during this COVID-19, when all of us are even blaming about the situation. And this gentleman, Mr. Anand Chandrakurup, he has even made money during this Corona entrepreneurship, this COVID-19 time because of his entrepreneurship skills. Thank you so much, Anandji, for joining with us, and welcome to Career Coffee. Okay, so this is our topic. So about entrepreneurship, about this post-COVID-19 wave. So let us start with a little bit of generic interactions, as we have three eminent personalities who are people called entrepreneurs, industrialists, investors with more than 2 decades of experience or still mentoring startups. So the first question which I want to discuss is it really impacted various business? Because people always think whether it's a myth, whether it's a fad, or it is just a short-term duration, what is happening. Has it really affected this Corona COVID-19, this lockdown time? Has it really impacted the industries? If yes, which are those industries which are in bad shape? Probably I will start with Srikanti.
Let me start this way. There is no industry that has not been impacted by COVID-19. The real impact, generally speaking, has been very devastating, and we are not even seeing the end of the devastation. When we talk about devastation, the impact is about
There
the
is a little bit
general public, not about certain. Uh, Sorry?
there's a little bit of voice disturbance. I think network connectivity issues might be. Probably meanwhile, I will just jump to Manoj Govind and I will come back to you again about it. So how do you feel, Manoj ji, like about these things? How you feel about how it has impacted the industry?
Yes, Srikaran, it is very much visible. The major, if you say that major income of India, that is from the travel industry or that of hospitality industry. Now it's a paralyzed like anything. So visible income losses from there, and also the entertainment industry. That you can say that because that's the first two things which comes to my mind. Okay, that is a major income earning arenas that is right now it is not there. And also if you move to manufacturing, you know that of car manufacturing, I mean automobile mainly, not car manufacturing, automobile industry, So allied industries are there. When we go to today, I have taking a class for a group of chartered accountants. So these people were saying that when they are getting enormous calls from different industry, even from the paint, from the local, I am saying that from the paint company to the company which is the processing the fish units, that's everybody is in standstill right now. That means maybe visibility, maybe travel and travel industry, maybe the hospitality industry, maybe the entertainment industry, the education. It's not an industry, but it comes in service sector. So the major maybe that the three or four, but thousands of allied areas are very much affected because of COVID. But still, we are seeing that a light at the side of the what do you say the pipe. So that's the main thing which comes to my mind right now. And also export and import. That's great. Is any connectivity issue?
Wi-Fi चाहिए?
Apologies that I think we are now online again.
What's happening?
I think that we are all good now. I think Srikanji has to join. I think he is facing a little bit of net connectivity issues. So let's start with again on this as we equally agree to the point that all the businesses are being affected. Now, as per Anandji, your terms, like what do you feel? Which are those industries really suffering because of COVID-19? But if you see, Zoom is really zooming up of the digital learning. Might be because they have made it free. As I have seen, as I was reading, 200 million people are actually using Zoom every given day, and the valuation has gone drastically high. Same way, we can find out, a few industries which have really boomed up, but there are few industries really they are struggling. So, you think this is just a fad as people are switching into digital ecosystem? Is it a fad or is it going to be the future?
See, well, I won't say it is a fad. It's a stopgap arrangement for the work being done. So the digital space is always there. But nowadays, what is happening is that the digital platforms get more acceptance. Even common people are using it. Yesterday, I was watching a show interview with Baiju, the founder of Baiju's Hub. He was telling that even though before pre-crisis also Baiju's Hub were there, but during the crisis, the lockdown, they could double their sales. So now both parents or kids are finding these online apps can add value to them. So before the crisis, it was kind of a complementary tool to support your studies.
Mm-hmm.
There, the classrooms and the books were the holy things that time. But now that perspective is changing. That's what's happening. Other than that, online education platforms, other area which is getting traction is the online entertainment platforms like Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, those kind of things. Before pre-crisis, people use this platform for binge watching. I mean, if you want to see a web serial, you will watch that. But now that perspective is changing because a lot of courageous producers, they are releasing new films in this platform. So that is changing the perspective about the entertainment platforms. Yeah.
So you think this is going to bring a paradigm shift?
No, I don't think so. This is going to be a paradigm shift for all the industries. But for some places, some behavioral change is happening. That will be there for some duration. But physical office spaces, physical meetings, everything will resume once the COVID threat is over. I am being a human being. Man is kind of a social animal, right? I mean, they cannot continuously be in the digital space.
But I have heard that even Twitter had sent a letter to all the employees saying that it is always better you can stay back and work. So might be it can even enhance the productivity. And I was reading a couple of articles. So a couple of companies, they were telling they were able to make more launches during this April rather than any time in past. So they were telling the productivity of those employees has actually got increased, might be because of various factors during this lockdown time.
So my opinion is that the biggest factor is that the fear factor. The people are thinking that they will just lose job, right? So during this time, they have to show the productivity. So once this is become a normal stuff, mainstream, then the productivity will decrease.
So we have this professional coach, Manoj sir. How do you feel that statement? Like say, now people are just working because of the fear factor, but once that fear factor changes after COVID-19, the performance may even come down.
I can see an elements of fad in that one. You just recollect your favorite story of Petrock. It was a fad that time because the same one for the time being. You think about that corporates who spend the money in crores and crores. So how they can go away? Because for the time being, okay, work from home, it's good. Keep distance, that's good. The digital way of classrooms are good. But as Anandji said that the human factor is missing. For the time being, okay, we do that one. You know the concept of the consumer right now. There may be for the time being they are keeping inside their comfort zones. But the moment when this COVID factor is minimizing, definitely the animal instincts will come out. We will forget about everything. That is a human factor. So for the time
Exactly.
being, we are depending upon the technology and digital era.
It's a
So
stopgap
human behavior
arrangement.
has to come out.
So that means you're telling
Yes.
once this COVID
Yes,
is over,
exactly.
but we don't know whether it's going to be over or we are going to coexist with COVID. We don't even know about that. So whether it's going to be like a post-COVID era, whether that can happen, we don't even know. We may have to coexist. But then if that happens, if that coexisting happens again, we have to continue with this, right? We don't know. There's
Coexisting for
an
how long? Yeah, coexisting for how long? Either we will get herd immunity or the humankind will die. I mean, that is
agree.
not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Once
So now,
once herd immunity is acquired, then I mean, who will fear about COVID?
So now, the another aspect of it is like many of those people are coming back from foreign countries, like those NRIs, who would have lost their job because of this COVID-19. And in India also, many people are looking like, okay, now I may have, I may even lose job because of those companies are downsizing. So should I come into entrepreneurship? So is it a right time for them? Because at least next, impact will be there for another 6 months, as you have initially said. So whether it's a right time to get into business or what sort of business they can get into.
Question to whom? To me?
Yeah, you can answer. So I just threw it to both of you.
Yeah. So in my opinion, yeah, every time is a good time. Every time there will be opportunities. So I don't think that there's a right time to start entrepreneurship or right time to start a company. So you can find a lot of opportunities there. So yesterday I was watching a show about a guy. He created an online gaming platform for Ludo. So we all know that online gaming platforms were there, right? But that was for techies or those kind of people. The common man, the working class, was always keeping a distance between from the gaming platform. But this digitizing these kind of local or very popular games like Ludo, Snake and Ladder, and adopting that into the digital platform, I think it's an amazing idea, wonderful idea that clicked. So opportunities will be there always.
Even I was seeing there is a new platform through which
I think we lost you.
Lost voice.
Yeah.
Ananji, yesterday, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday I participated in inauguration.
Yep. No, now your voice also is not clear.
It's not. Okay, let's because I hope voice is a little bit clear right now. Yesterday I participated in inaugural function over Zoom. Okay, it's a very nice one because the idea was it was all about smart housekeeping. That is in Kochi.
Mm-hmm.
Smart housekeeping. During this time, he started the company, and by sitting here, he started a franchise at Bangalore also.
Yeah.
So because people are more and more, because as he said that, and more NRIs are coming with money, not with idea. That is another part, because all of a sudden they are coming, compelled to come. There are so many NRIs used to come here with lots of ideas by sitting and studying the current scenario in India, and they were engaged in discussions, then finding out a good partner and collaborating. They were investing money. This was the old system. Right now, all of us are coming here with a lot of money. So how it is going to affect that of the investment arena or entrepreneurial attitude of NRIs? Is it going to become
So
good
yeah,
for India?
yeah. So I was about to think about that. The thing is that what in my opinion the thing is that the equity investment will be drying up. I don't think the NRIs will be investing a lot of money. They are going to invest a lot of money because, especially in a crisis situation, people will be reluctant to invest in equity.
Okay.
But I think
Oh,
the cost of debt funding is going to come down. That these companies can tap and use that cheap debt funding option for their further expansion or other stuff. The equity investment will be a little bit tough now. That's what my perspective.
good. As a serial investor, you know that of algorithms began investing. So
Yeah.
many youngsters are watching this, our program. What will be that of first of 3 to 5 points from an investor side? What is in your mind? I mean, what is the advice for you to the youngsters? Which are all that of steps they have to take before investing?
See, before investing, see any idea should be kind of there should be a novelty in that idea, a uniqueness in that idea, and that idea or that business should be scalable, and you shouldn't require a lot of capital investment for your business expansion. So I would look those kind of industries or ideas associated with protection from intellectual property. If a company or a business idea is protected with strong IPs, I think those are
Okay.
investable.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Today, I hope you have so in news that even India government, I mean Indian military, they are
Mm.
coming with a new idea of tour of duty. Tour of duty means in the sense that they are taking that of youngsters for 3 years. That means even the military people are also looking to curtail their what is a expense in terms of giving huge salary.
Yep.
So how this possible? I mean, coming era. I mean, post COVID, how this business corporates are going to take a steps in their business, the possible area to curtail their what is a
So
financial expenses.
definitely, so all the efficient industries will be trying to be asset light industries. They shouldn't have
Okay.
more fixed assets. They will be but there will be variable costs associated with not having fixed assets. So what I would say is that reduced workforce and lesser capital investment, lesser investment for marketing. Those will be the scenarios at least for a couple of years. But
Okay.
the whichever
Very good.
industries or business which is having strong R&D, they will continue
Mhm.
invest in R&D. So you cannot cut down R&D because later you will suffer. But other supporting
Very good.
staff and other supporting functions around the business will be stripped off.
Okay. That's
So
very good.
going asset light, that will be the mantra going forward. So you should have very minimal asset light. You may not even have a office also. That will be the kind of industries coming up.
And it's always say that one farming will be our main area. That means the 14 percentage of GDP is from our agriculture. That means 28 lakhs crores. That is the contribution from agriculture area. So that is a very bright sector during. I mean, even though this during these days also and the post COVID also, that is one of the most advancements that we are going to see there. So how you are going to view that one in terms of educated youngsters? Will it be
So I
their
don't
next area of hope?
I don't think that farming will be the future. People are moving from villages to cities. That is very clear. And 14% of GDP is compared to other industries, it is very less only, right? 14% is, I mean, less.
That is
But what they have to do is that, what farmers have to do is that they need to adopt technology very heavily in farming. And the crop yield should be very high. So what I read that per acre yield of Indian paddy field per acre is around 2000 tons or something. But for China, it is around 10,000 tons. So you should try to increase a yield. That will be the mantra there. So a lot of biotech and agri machinery innovations should happen there. And you should reduce the use of land, water, and those kind of resources,
Yes.
and manpower also. So agriculture should be tagged as a manufacturing industry rather than keeping it as a traditional agriculture field. So
Sure,
that
sure.
way, if you look, then agriculture will have a bright future. But the fad of organic farming and other stuff, what our government promotes now, I don't think it's sustainable.
Okay. We have one question here. So, what is the possibility of replacing all the Chinese items with indigenous one? If that happens, what as a nation we should do? So, whether it is possible to promote Indian companies or Indian entrepreneurs?
Not at all.
About
Not at all.
replace-
Not at all. 100%. Why I will tell you. So you know, a mobile phone, right? To manufacture a mobile phone, we need electronic components, especially microprocessors, resistors, capacitors, various electronic components. India doesn't have a fab which can produce microprocessors even today. So we need to entirely dependent on China or Malaysia or Taiwan, Singapore or Japan, all these East Asian countries for the electronic components. So what we are doing here is that electronic assembly only. So we will assemble the final product and box it in a container and write made in India, but it's not actually made in India. It's assembled in India. That is one thing. Second thing is that for the pharmaceutical industry, the active pharma components, ingredients. So China is still today. China is the number one manufacturer of those kind of. Even biggies like Pfizer, J&J, all depend on China, not our companies alone. So eliminating China completely is out of question. But wherever we can, we have to boost our industry, local manufacturing. For that, a lot of labor and land reforms are required. So local and federal government should look into that area.
Okay.
So made in India is easy to say, but still made in India is in primitive phase, that you know, right?
So you say made in India is, so made in India is mostly is like assembled in India, is what you want to say.
But
So
made
in India is mostly assembled in India rather than real, manufactured in India. Okay, Manoj sir, coming back to Manoj sir, how do you feel?
I would say, but there are exceptions in made in India. In automobile manufacturing, I think we have a very good upper hand in made in India stuff, because a lot of big companies have plants in India. But still, for some of the components, we are depending on other countries. But we can say, I mean, there is an independent ecosystem infrastructure available in India in manufacturing. Like that, we need to put a lot of stress in high-tech manufacturing, electronic manufacturing, pharma, and those areas.
Okay, so we have this. Just want to comment from Jiboy. So Jiboy Panikar says the Technopark in Trivandrum was first meant to be a hardware manufacturing park, somewhere we shifted focus. Might be that also can be one reason. So we first start with this hardware manufacturing park, and then later we shift the focus to something software. Might be because we don't want to come out of comfort zone. So Manu sir, what do you feel? Like say we Indians, we don't want to come out of our comfort zone and then work like I don't want to say like China, or at least work in terms of productivity, competing to other countries.
I'll go back to the first question. The first question was that whether we will go forgo the Chinese product and we'll go for Indian product. The question here to that to you and also to me also. Are we ready to go behind the Indian product? So first factor is coming price factor. So that is the most fantastic one why we are going behind Chinese one. Okay. The second one, the best brains are coming back to India. And there are also scenarios also there. Day before yesterday, I heard that Apple is going to start their manufacturing unit in India. Like that way, India is going to become the focus of economic center. That means India has assured the trust factor to the world, where we are keeping that of ethics and values. That is ethics and values that right now the world is ready to come and give the shake hand. So in such a level, within no limit, India will see a not paradigm shift. There should be a sea change in our industries that India is going to become the hub of economy. So that means more manufacturing companies are coming here. Our brains are coming back here. And there is a concept, not a concept, everybody is talking about hyper localization. So hyper localization is the forerunner of all the changes. So in such a level, definitely, we Indians, if we believe, if we trust, we will go behind the Indian product. Definitely, this is going to happen. So our mindset has to change. Mindset has to change.
Okay, but then still, even though people are many of those brains, like big brains, are coming back to India, but then who are going to employ them? Because we are looking for cheap resources, and I say cheap in inverted commas. We are not, like say, especially or in other terms, low cost resources. That is what all the companies are looking at, and always those people who with the big brains coming back with big tax. So I don't know how many of our companies will be ready to employ them. Second aspect about entrepreneurship, like say if they're starting by their own company, they are going to face many challenges. How you feel this, Manoj sir?
But during the course of the time, the government will find out an reason not to leave them from here. So government will open a window also. And as you know, that one 20 lakhs, that for yesterday, 2000 lakhs, MSME sector, that was packed from government of, finance ministry, that is going to bring a great enthusiasm among the people that of government is going to protect. You know that distribution system, the public distribution system proved that is very much strong in India. That's why even the rural village, they were overcome that effect of the post-COVID, at least in terms of their daily bread. That means India as a country can hold everything to an positive sides in terms of providing opportunity. So far, we didn't get a chance, but right now the post-COVID and COVID era is opening a window for everybody to understand how India is a good resource to start the new things. I mean, in terms of industry and or the service sector. So I feel, and I trust that. So India will become the land.
Okay, as we have said that many of those brains are coming back and the opportunity for entrepreneurship. Just shall we just analyze these industries and this question to Anandji. So where do you find this future? Where can they invest if they want to start a new company, a new enterprise, or they want to get into venturing into a company? So which are those segments which are going to be lucrative in the coming future?
See, one of the questions Manoj sir asked. So, which are the industries will be opening up? I mean, potential. So, what I would say is that wherever there is a uniqueness in idea and protected with patents and easily scalable in any industry, those will thrive. For example, what I invested in a company. They are into a IoT-based clean drinking water platform. I mean, the growth was. I mean, you are discussing right. I mean, within a year, that company become a iconic brand and one of the biggest venture fund is investing in that company today. So like that, clean water, clean drinking water is always a issue. That also for affordable cost and affordable AMCs, those kind of things that will yield like anything.
Okay.
And
So what you're telling, like say,
yeah.
Sorry, please carry on.
Yeah, that like the basic necessity things like food, water, wherever, that will be always there are opportunities. Second thing I am seeing is that fintech is posing a lot of opportunities here, especially the last mile problem is not resolved. So if you are in a rural village and if you have a ATM card or something, it's good. Otherwise, also, how will you, if you have money in account, but how will you get a 5,000 rupees? No ATM is nearby, right? So one guy pitched me with an idea of it's kind of a Paytm kind of network only, but what they will do is that they will tie up with the local local vendors like the shopkeepers, the hardware shop guy, or the vegetable vendor, and they will have this POS with them, and whoever wants to take money, I mean, kind of 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, they'll get an OTP and go to this vendor, and that vendor will give him money. No need to go to an ATM. So those kind of last mile problem solving, there are huge potential in fintech industry in India. Another space what I see potentially cyber security, because there are a lot of online activities are happening. The cyber fraud also is increasing, right? So there are tremendous opportunities for cyber security solutions. And another problem is another area what I see is digital authentication platforms. Healthcare is another industry. There are a lot of innovations need to be put yet. So I think these are the spaces.
But one common thing in all the platform which we have mentioned, one common thing which is behind them is IT, information technology enabled business. This all thing have to use, the core will be IT, the various information technologies, whether it is artificial intelligence, IoT, or any of those stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Definitely that is required. Definitely that is required, because going digital is the new mantra, and how much you adopt the digital footprint, that will determine your success. For example, for simple, so Kerala government has taken tenders for a queue generating system, right, for delivering liquor. So if you have a solution ready, I mean, you can pitch into that and get that business. It's a very simple system. Even in an Excel sheet, you can generate that, right? So anything going, any solution need IT's help, digital help.
So, Manoj, this question to you. So then how will people adapt to this this new technology and new era? Because those people are coming back, or those people who are not updated, so will they be left out? So there's going to be a huge opportunity for educational or training institution to upgrade their skills. How do you look at this opportunity?
Srikaran, if you look back, the same question was asked when the computerization that is happened. There are so many banks were reluctant to adapt the computerization in their platform because lack of knowledge and the skill was not there. So what happened that is finally they have moved to the same stage. So certain people will come to realize what is the benefit of that one. Definitely they will go and hug it. Certain people will be there. Certain percentage will be always there. They will try to watch what is the pros and cons, and these people are going to lose it. So those who want to use the technological benefit, at least they have to move out from your comfort zones. They have to understand this is the way right now to move ahead, and these people will definitely they are going to change that of game pattern. So you know that nowadays even there are certain examples that are there. Even 75-year-old, what do you say that of um, I cannot say that it is a grandma. Okay, grandma has learned the computer literacy. I mean, no, and she got the certificate also. That means if that will is there, if the will is there, we can create the skill. But unfortunately, the will is very less. So that is the main issue. So certain people are ready to clap for others by sitting on the fence. That is happening right now, but criticizing everybody. So that attitude has to change.
But then now we are seeing a surge of online learning platforms. Like every next day, you are seeing another online learning platform from which people can get educated, get trained on their skills, get qualified, and all those stuff. So is it going to be again a fad? Will people come back to the physical infrastructure of education institutions, or are they going to start with the online digital learning system? Manoj sir,
For the time being, for the
and that's
time
it.
being,
Yeah.
that is the only for the time being that is the only source right now. So people wants to engage. So to make sure that they want to be engaged, they are engaged in that one. When the moment the real momentum is starting, definitely they will move out. So right now they are not seeing any other side. Uh, Okay, that other side is always greenery, but they are not able to see that other side of the coin. So we need intellectual and what is say perspective and intellectual analysis here. The intellectual analysis in the sense that I am seeing only this side of my hand. I am not seeing this side. So I am only describing about what I am seeing right now. So my perspective, I mean, I have to change my angle. Then only I will be able to see that one. Instead of that one, what I am doing that one, I am going to change the angle of viewers. So that is not going to win. I have to change. So right now I have to understand that one digital platform is giving more and more opportunity for me in terms of skill development. For the time being, I have to go and I have to hand in hand in such a matter. And tomorrow, when I have to move from there one, I have to be ready for that one also. Or otherwise, what will happen that one? There was a forest and there was no rain, and still the peacock was dancing. So that of other animals ask the peacock, why you are dancing right now? There is no rain. Still you are dancing for the last 6 months. The peacock replied only one thing, my dear friends, the nature will come back. If I keep myself inside in my house, what will happen? That I will forget about my skill. So I have to dance. So when the rain comes, then I have to I will be the most happiest person because I didn't forget about my skill. So that we have to understand. The time will change. That time we have to move out.
Thank you so much, Manasa. There's a question here for Anand. So, this like, would SaaS business do better now? Shreya Patar is asking this question. So, would SaaS business do better now, considering all work on entertainment has moved to our screens? So, being a technopreneur, you will be the ideal person to answer this, Mr.
Yeah, SaaS is a generic term. So, but what she meant by SaaS is like that it's a any product as a service, any software product as a service. Yes, that will be the future. There is no doubt about that.
So that is going to really
yeah,
change.
because what I have already told that the post-COVID era will be kind of asset-light industries. They don't own many assets. Everything will be on subscription basis. Yes.
Okay, so we have one more question, like so where people may even look into subscription, even about renting out movies to everything and everything. Now it's going into online.
Yes.
Only thing is, I still have a request that somebody should find out a proper, decent internet streaming service.
Yes.
Even though I have both, I have to name both these leading brands I have connected to my system, but I'm still not getting a proper, faster connectivity over here. So that can be one challenge. Still, people have to really come out with.
Now, I'll give a similarity. So in India, you will find Lamborghinis and Ferraris, right? But the roads are not good. Same thing. You will have bright minds, but the internet is very slow. Means.
Okay, so here we have one other question from Mr. Jiboy. So that is again, there are Electronics for You, AWS, and Economic Times are doing the online full day conferences almost back to back this week. and many other. I can say any given point of time we have a Zoom meeting happening. Are we seeing a full paradigm shift in physical meetings, training, and education? The existing tools need a total rework to accommodate more human-to-human interfaces. So, how do you feel? Is it going to have this paradigm shift? Are we going to face, or is it just for the time being? Of course, we have discussed that part of it.
Yeah, this is temporarily. I mean, this is a stopgap arrangement because the people doesn't have other options right now. That's why they are shifting to the digital platforms. As we discussed, the human behavior is the human mentality is like a human being. Being a human being, human beings are social animals, right? So we cannot eliminate completely the physical meetings and physical office spaces. So once the COVID threat is over, I don't know when, people slowly go back to their caves.
So there is one question which I always wanted to ask this, being practitioners of entrepreneurship. There's always this term called lean business management, and people are going to be more, even more lean after this post-COVID-19. So how do you feel like companies can practice this lean business management? Because first thing which will come to our mind is, downsizing or leaving the employee. So how do you feel?
Yeah, this also I think we discussed when you are out from the system.
Okay.
Going lean is the mantra post COVID. You will have asset light models, like your company may not have an office space also sometimes. Very little staff, and especially the support systems like finance, admin, your housekeeping, those kind of stuffs will be outsourced. I mean, it's rental, even HR also. But you have to keep more focus on R&D and IPs. So those will be the future model of business. You will have very less fixed cost, but the variable cost will increase, like because your subscriptions and everything will increase. That will be the model. I mean, those kind of business will survive.
Okay. Say,
But
like freelancing.
but that is not suitable for all the industries. That's what I'm saying. Because if you are an automobile manufacturer, you should have plants, machinery, and everything, right? It depends to industry to industry.
Is, are we going to see a surge in freelancing? Because many of those people may come out of those companies, and then they might be ready as a readily available resources for many companies. So are we going to see something in freelancing and an aggregator for various companies? Even for an IT company, we have freelancers available here. Are we going to see a surge because of this? Yes, Anandji.
Definitely, for at least for a shorter period of time, lot of good talents will be available. They are out of job for a temporary period of time. I think before they find a suitable job or their place, yeah, I mean, total talent pool will be available. But right now, I don't see a such that, because we are in constant touch with a couple of HR companies in India, like Monster and Instaher, those kind of companies. We are looking for some people, but whatever talent we are looking is not available. Still, the niche talents will not be available. The generic guys will be there. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So then, first thing, as yeah, sorry, please continue on.
Yeah, as I told, the niche will be always difficult to find.
Okay. So, Manoj sir, so there is a tendency which we are always, Manoj sir, your mic is muted. So, are you listening? Hear me? Yeah. So, it's this thing is, microphone is muted. You can just unmute it. So I think your mic is actually not connected. So you can just reconnect it, your mic, to the system. Okay, meanwhile, I will throw this question to Anand. Meanwhile, Manoj has settled the issue with the mic. So, majorly, again, another aspect of this, how to manage sales and supply chain. That is another challenge which people are going to face, because whatever you identify this technology as a solution in the back-end support system, but then how you're going to manage the sales and supply chain in this future?
Yeah, the sales cycles are seriously hit now. I mean, there is a, I would say there is a stock, mid stock. The wheel was running, but it suddenly stopped. Traditional sale techniques need to be revamped. Especially the digital marketing is going good. The companies which have products which can be marketed through digital platforms, they are doing good. But the conventional companies like medical equipment manufacturers, heavy machineries, agri machineries, specialty machineries, chemicals, and those kind of companies, they are finding it very difficult. They are basically B2B, or so yeah, some of them are B2C guys. Usually what they do is that they participate in any of the trade shows, and they display their products and they find the customers. That was the normal sales activity they do. But during this lockdown, none of the trade shows are there. I think there is a need for a virtual trade platform, so that these people can showcase their product in this platform, and they can find customers.
Okay, so how
that is that is a sales side. Supply side is supply chain is completely disturbed. The unique situation is that the stockist have a lot of inventory, so they are finding it very difficult to sell. But the factory is finding difficult to source raw materials. So both supply side and demand side both disturbed. This is a unique situation, and this is I mean, once in a blue moon only this kind of will happen.
So we cannot. Sorry, I think there's a little bit of connectivity issues. Yeah, again. So that means we can't take it as a standard. So still. Yeah. Like say, we cannot take it as a standard situation. Still, of course, that is something which we have to practice and then we have to expect in future. We have one more question. Yeah, one more question from Shreya. So the question is, if you had to invest in a startup, of course, he is still investing during this lockdown period. What 3 attributes would you look for? What would these attributes differ in a non-pandemic situation? Whether would these attributes differ in a non-pandemic situation?
So any investable company should solve a problem. I mean, a startup or a entrepreneur is trying to solve a problem. A problem in a viable way.
But then that can be only because that is something which is nice to hear as we are solving the problem. But I am seeing many of those companies which may even duplicate the ideas, like just like that, getting investment in search. So might be that the reason Shreya is asking this question, because that is something nice to hear, that should be solving the problem. But there is something which is more than that within your mind, like basically if we consider you as an investor. So there will be something else. Of course, you look for the returns, as you rightly said, because the company which you are recently participated. So you have already got more than 300% of your return. So how you feel it?
Yeah, as I told you, they were really solving a problem, right? Because all the aquaguards and the doctor, these Kens are like stealing customers. So this is kind of a very viable solution for a very needy segment. So there was a unique idea in that, and it is scalable. So you can replicate this business model everywhere. In any city you go, you can just replicate this. So it's easily scalable, and it is asset light also. In a way, if you see the business model of other companies, they are very light with assets.
So that means they are very lean.
very lean, and they have a couple of patents also. So these will meet my criteria.
Okay. So you are looking at something like one, it should be solving the problem of those people. Second, it should be scalable, and then of course affordable, that we can reach out to many people. And third aspect can be, it should be asset-light model, working on an asset-light model. That means there is no heavy investment in the initial stage. So they should not possess much of the asset. And at least they should have some technological competency and then patent. So they should be working in the technological as earlier as software assisted.
Exactly. There should be a difference from other companies in IP. IP is very very critical. Where which will decide the future of the company.
So how you feel this IT, agri-technology, the companies which work for agriculture, the IT companies which work for them?
See, agri-tech is, that's what I told, agriculture is not an area where I am looking. Because Indian agriculture mindset...
In generic opinion, what happened? Like, say, what is happening with that?
Yeah, Indian agriculture the mindset need to be changed. So government and people should accept it as an industry rather than a charity work. So now it is kind of a charity work.
Okay, so there is something which
heavy mechanization is required, heavy digitalization is required there. A lot of things are required, and the policies also need to be changed.
Okay. So there is one
we are kind of going back to the organic side and the zero budget farming and those kind of crops. Those things won't solve the agri issues.
So there is one other question again related to agriculture by Sunil. So how do you see agriculture sector coping in a post-COVID-19 environment? Would it be a good initiative to focus on food security for the near future?
So food security is a real problem. So what is happening? Pardon?
But as a business perspective, is it going to be
business perspective? No, I'm not thinking it's a investor area from my perspective.
Okay, so otherwise there should be like an aggregator. So I'm talking little bit of different perspective, because I have seen there are in agriculture segment itself there are aggregators which will collaborate between the farmers, and it's almost like a farming aggregation. So where they will even aggregate and rent out the tractors, tillers, and all this machineries for agri-tech equipments. They even utilize IoT, Internet of Things, for identifying the soil and what sort of crops and all those stuff. They create a collaboration between the farmers and one big landscape for them, and then play an aggregator role for farmers. I think that can be something which I address this issue, where they can initiate on food focus on food and security.
Yeah, that's an area, but problem is that it requires a lot of capital there.
Of course, it's costing a lot of capital. That's good. I think Manoj sir is back. A little bit of net connectivity issues were there, and there is this question from my dad. So he is also watching me, so watching all of us. So what are the steps to be taken for economic and industrial development? So that's a little bit generic, but then probably both of you can ask Manoj sir. So what can be the steps taken for economic and industrial development for this at this COVID-19, because of this impact which happened on the economy and industry? So what are the steps which can be taken by government or individually, right? So by the companies?
One thing is there, Srikaran, government already has taken the steps, and we have to find out what is the result there. Individually speaking, I have to go back once again for hyper-localization. As we know that during this COVID era, no multinational companies, for that matter, you call anybody, for Amazon's to Big Basket, nobody was serving us. If you take the matter in Kottayam or Trichy or in Bangalore, especially in our village areas, only the local people have helped us. That means economical development again is coming back to the village level. So if the village are ready to cater the needs of the people of the same local area, we don't have to worry about what is happening outside. So one thing is there, economic development, the money has to come back. The money circulation has to come back. So while the finance ministry is giving this much of money, Actually, this has to start from that of consumer side. If the consumer don't have money, how he is going to purchase the product? So when he is purchased the product, then only that of stocks will come to the market, and again the company will be able to produce. So again, a recycling has to happen. The purchasing power of the people has to increase. The consumer has to increase. That step has to be taken. So I connected this village because village people are showing that, as you know, that prosumer concept, that producer consumer, every customer is looking for their product. I mean, suppose farming in good old time, it was for other people. It was not for farmers. Right now, the farming is for me and for you, and excess I will sell. For that matter, energy also, solar energy, I will produce it for me. If excess is there, I will give to KSCB, that means State Electricity Board. So such as mindset is changed. So that is another point. For the development of the economy, the money circulation must happen, or otherwise nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to reflect in our society. Everything will be only the carcass. And this question needs a more and more intellectual contemplation. For the time being, when it's go to industry, the scenario is another. So individual to individual, the scenario is changing. As a whole, if money circulation is not happening, no development will happen. Only philosophical aspects will happen like this.
Yeah, Anand, I have this one question which I have in mind, because people are not ready to spend. People are not ready to spend because many of their salary also have been cut down. And many of those companies have taken this as an opportunity as well to reduce their salary, being very frank. So even though might be they have their own reason, maybe project would have cancelled or some other issues and all those stuff. Even I have seen the same thing in many educational institutions as well in the scenario to identify. So now, as the people disposable income has come down, so how these companies can really survive in the market, because people are if they are not ready to buy. Because I'm seeing many of those leading companies have come up with the mobile phone launch immediately after this, third level or second level of lockdown. Still, I'm saying, they are not able to sell in a better way. So how to come back to the situation of purchase?
Yeah, I'll tell my story. So yesterday I just checked my credit card bill. So for the last month, it became 1/3 of that of my previous month, my credit card bill, because I use credit card for everything. So it is not the lack of disposable income. It is a mindset.
It's a fear.
So definitely disposable income is not there for some people, but there's a fear factor. And yesterday, Washington Post was reporting that among Americans, the household saving is as of that of 80s. So after the Ronald Reagan came and a lot of reforms came, right? Then only the spending habits of Americans changed. So America is a spending economy. Mm-hmm. So like that, so their household saving increased. It is a bad sign for economy. It's not a good sign. The lot of savings are not good. So this is a fear factor, I think. So once people realize that, okay, there is nothing to worry, then I think people will start spending again. See, I wanted to buy a shoe rack. Okay, last month we thought that we'll buy a shoe rack, but we postponed it. That's what happening.
You didn't find a necessity for that.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Manoj sir,
Srikaran, golden theory is in economics. When your income is increasing, your expense is increasing. But when your income is decreasing, to a certain extent, your expense will not go down. Your expense will not go down.
True.
So that is a myth. Yes, there is a limit for that one. As Anandji has shown one thing, for the time being, okay, I'm keeping quiet, because I was also saying that one, I stopped this food from the hotels. Why? Because there is no hotels. Mm-hmm. The moment I came back to Cochin, Swiggy is there. I started to order through Swiggy. That means human habit is like that. These are all the tough momentary things. We will shift to that. You can sensitize that one by sitting in Bangalore, both of you. How these mannerisms are changing. We cannot curtail our expense to a certain extent. Of course, disposable income is one of the, and one thing is started, the people started to believe in savings. People started to believe in savings. So many changes are there. If you go to post office, you can get that real pulse there. Okay, over to you.
And even I think people started believing in life insurance and health insurance policies as well, I believe, because of COVID-19. Might be we can find out a little bit surge in now life insurance and health insurance policies, which were used to be sold rather than bought. Now we have one more question from Mr. Sudeep Shetty. So what step can the government of the day, both central and state, take in order to see the health sector response effectively in future to counter the COVID-like situation? So, what all things can be given by the government, the support system which can be created by government to boost up the healthcare so that we can take the advantage of the situation. Because probably Anand can answer this because, yeah, sir, Pranay, please.
Yes.
Please.
No. Anand is the best person who was in the industry. But so from that of insurance side, what I say that one, social security is lacking here. Social security in the sense that, okay, there is two sides of that coin also there. In the COVID era, we could see that one, the people from Germany, Italy, and even America, the people were crying like because they were charging huge amount. In India, it was almost everything was free. So in terms of that one, when that of pandemic situation that is happening, India government is taking a step that money is not a matter for this kind of the for health sector. But in future, it is the duty of the government to make sure that this should be the part of the social sector or social security. That is, insurance for everybody is mandatory in the sense that government has to provide that one. Because India is such a vast country and we are spending a lot of money for nonsense. So this will be one of the best area where government has to take precautions because the companies are ready to come for a negotiation. They are ready to give because so many NGOs are there. So many NGOs are there and they are ready to park money for this one. So such an initiative has to start from the government side. Over to you.
Okay. So Anand, so as I was asking this,
I will explain that because so you can compare the situation in Kerala. So there, I think the medical, especially the government hospitals are very strong. The primary health centers are very strong. So these kind of pandemic cases can be treated in the primary health center itself. But compared to Kerala, other states, there is very pathetic. There are very pathetic primary health centers. So what government should do is that they have to increase the investment to increase the facilities for the primary and secondary health centers. So what we have seen is that the government is putting a lot of money in tertiary care centers like AIMS and other district level medical colleges and those kind of things. So I am not telling that they have to decrease the investment there, but increase the investment in primary health center. That is very, very important. And the government should focus two areas, mainly education and healthcare. So, and they have to come out from all other loss-making public limited companies and other stuff. They have to really focus on these areas. If they can do that and let the private sector do other stuff, India will have a very good future.
Okay. So another question here. So why do you think there is a lack of adequate investment in renewable energy infrastructure? So it's a lack of. So is it going to be a future investing in renewable energy infrastructure? So why do you think there's a lack of adequate investment in renewable energy infrastructure? Yes, Anandji.
Yeah. So renewable energy also is a relatively very sweet term. Especially solar. Solar, the problem is that solar can produce electricity at the daytime only, right? And if you see our electricity usage, we have peak in the night time. So who will supply that electricity?
But then that can be storage facility there now, right?
Storage facility is not that efficient. That's a problem. Storage thing with the solar energy is not that efficient as of now. There are a lot of technological barriers need to be broken through. But what we have seen is that there are increased investment in especially from the private sector in renewable energy. So Adani has opened a very big solar farm in Tamil Nadu, and that is running profitable. And they are starting in Rajasthan. It's under construction. So that segment is getting little bit traction as of now. Other than that, solar, the wind energy is, I don't know what's the status of wind energy in India now. So you can see a lot of wind farms in Tamil Nadu and all, but when you ask people, there is no production of electricity.
Okay, there is this question to Manoj sir. So this is again from Shreya. So any suggestion for building a startup team now, especially since experienced people are available for hiring, but resources are more limited than usual. So any suggestion for building a startup team now? Is it the right time with experienced people available for hiring?
That is an intelligent question. Intelligent question means proactive question. That means, suppose if you start right now, you will be able to know that pulse of the situation right now. So you will be able to understand what is the do's and don'ts, and you are getting that of real pulse of the industry. So when the COVID is over, you will be able to move to the track in a better way, because that time majority of the people are trying to build up. But you have seen the negative side, negative in the sense that the most difficult side. So it will be easy for you to overcome when you are in the real pattern. That means when you have the team right now, with that much of effort, you are building a team, you are finding out all the difficulties. When that is over, then it is very easy for you to move into the real structure. Or otherwise, what will happen that we are waiting for that of this era to over. We don't know when it is going to over. That time when you are going to wait for that of era to stop, that time major people will come and replace whatever your idea. So it is better to have a team right now and start it not in a big level, but in a small level also. But add it, and by after the post-COVID, you will be with a full-fledged team. That's a good idea, Shrey.
But Anandji, I have a little bit of difference of opinion, and I see your response as well on this. So now, rather than creating a big team, will it be better to have this core team of 1 or 2 people and outsource the remaining work? Say whether now there are companies which get outsourced for sales, last minute sales, even if it is a direct sales or everything. We have outsourced companies for branding and marketing. We have outsourcing for IT backup to support system, telecalling. We can this thing. So anything and everything, we can get one specialized company for that. So can we create a collaborative ecosystem, keeping say 1 or 2 or 3 or up to 7 people or maximum to that level as a core team, and then outsource the remaining everything as a part-time worker? I see both your opinions on this.
Yes,
because this is possible other than that.
Yeah, that is a way forward, because so if you see my new startup, we have only core team. We outsource everything to other small vendors. So our entire software is outsourced. Entire finance operations is outsourced. HR function is outsourced. Everything is outsourced. Only we few people are there, and we are managing them.
Okay. Okay. So what do you see, Manoj sir, here? So will it be better to have a small core team plus outsourcing everything, or is it do we have to invest on people again, like to create a huge team?
It depends upon what you are going to start. What you are going to start. Core team is always very nice, but most of the companies right now, they are recruiting the people not as an employee but as an owner. The ownership. That means the company is existing, you will get it. So such a feeling, if you can create also, we depends upon whatever that of width you want, you can have it. Other side is that one, we are anticipating a kind of not to burn our fingers again. That's why we are depending upon other people, means resourcing. That's the most beautiful word we can say, that one. So one thing is there, when you are moving to the next level, we need a team. As you said, that core team is very nice. And there are beautiful concepts are coming and hitting India right now. The Global Garner is one of the company that is doing across India. There is a very another magical kind of business they are doing right now with the limited resources. For they are using this kind of outsourcing. So depends upon what kind of the industry you want, or depends upon geographical area where you want to touch. These are all differs from company to company. I do believe that, and you are the best master to judge it.
Okay, great. So to the last question before now, ending this discussion, we are almost 1 hour 15 minutes, even though we had a little bit of technical lag and issues in between because of this unstable network connectivity which we are facing. And apologies that Srikanth Patel had to drop in between because of network issues. And still, we had a fruitful discussion. Now we will once again join together once we have this better network connectivity and all those stuff, and then we will still be able to give more information to them. So one last question. This competition, now pre-COVID, this term which we even used to teach in the classroom is competition, different types of competition. So whether it is monopolistic, oligopolistic, different types of competition. Now should we forget the term competition and start teaching the people more about collaboration, coexistence, and how to work on that? Because I'm seeing this even in car manufacturing. There are people who collaborate and even exchange their cars so that both of them can sell. So I'm seeing this in IT company. The technology is being sold, so that they also can be done. So everywhere I'm seeing this. Even I'm seeing this collaboration between Samsung and Apple. So the technology is being shared. So do you think we have to forget this term called competition in future and come back, or probably train our people, train the entrepreneurs on this term collaboration and coexistence? So I need both your opinions on this. So starting from Manoj sir, please.
That term of the day is collaboration, not competition. When the competition comes, you lose, we lose, or you will lose. That is the presence of mind, and that is a blue ocean where, of course, where we'll find out, because the two strong areas are coming together for the betterment. So we will say that when suppose you select, there are 10 cement sellers. I'm taking a very small example. 10 cement sellers are there. Instead of competing each other, if they collaborate, they can collectively fix a group for their common sales. That is happening right now as a cluster. That is another name of cluster sales. The cluster sales is work on these algorithms. Instead of competing each other, they have to work on collaboration. So collective bargaining will also happen. Collective bargaining from the resource. So that is the need of the time, and we have to move forward only because in order to avoid unnecessary competition. In this competition, what is happening that other parties eating up our, they are taking up a majority of our fruits. That means money. So always collaboration is the best. The best version can come from Mr. Anand.
But
Yes,
I have
Anandji, please.
I have an exactly opposite view about that. As you told, the cement guys, right? Cement distributors, right? That's the best example of cartel creation, right? So they can fix the price. So this is an economic problem actually. Competition, lot of competition and lot of collaboration is a problem. So that is why we have CCIs, competition commissions. What they will do is that instead of making cartels, they won't allow to make cartels. So in a free market economy, the price is market determined, not the guys who is selling the cement. So those kind of price fixes and all those areas, I think collaboration is not at all good. But yeah, as the technology sharing, platform sharing, those areas, other areas wherever the price is not a factor, the market should fix the price. Other areas, yes, we can think about collaboration, but collaboration also, the problem is that the collaboration in long term will reduce competence. So what will happen is that then all in a sudden a new rebel company will come and he will kill everything. So this is a human nature. Sometimes we collaborate, sometimes we compete, sometimes a rebel will come. So it's a cyclic process.
Okay. So one okay. Anyway, as we had, I just want to ask one more question. So he said that like I am seeing a lot of now videos in entrepreneurship, and I'm seeing there's a word called disaster-proof business. So is there any business which is having this disaster-proof? Both of you, starting from Anand.
I don't
Yes,
know.
Anand.
Nothing is disaster proof.
So I'm
Disaster
seeing
proof
a lot
is
of
a
articles, a lot of journals.
very,
Even,
yeah, very sugar coated, terminology.
what do you see, Manoj sir, about it? Whether it's just a philosophy that it can be
Yet,
disaster-proof?
yet to come. Yet to come. Yet to come.
Yet to
We
come
have
means
to
like,
wait for that. We
wait
have
for
to
it.
wait for that.
Like, okay, so thank you so much. I think that was quite insightful discussion, even though we missed Srikant sir in between. So let's see, we will even find out an exclusive session with him as well, so that we can get more insights into entrepreneurship. As we just to recollect what all things which we discussed, the beginning we agreed that yes, all the industries have been affected with this COVID-19 impact, but many of the things can be a fad because of this digital meetings and everything. Because of human nature, we will come back to normal life, whether it is a post-COVID era or if we have to coexist with COVID-19, still human will always be human, will come back to the situations. And about the industries where you can invest in, this is the right time to invest. This can time you can even get into entrepreneurship, you can do your startups. But the best thing you where you can invest is all about the software supported business or technology supported business. Like it can be about aggregators, it can be about technology sharing platform where like IoT enabled technology, even in agriculture you have agri technology business as well. So that is where investors are looking to invest. As we get insightful information, where he always look at in Anand's perspective, he always look at when he invests in a company, he always look at something which is solving a problem. Yes, by default, all the entrepreneurs are looking at that. And second aspect, he always look at the scalability, about monetization, and of course about asset light model. So you should not be investing heavily on assets. So the all the big cozy flashy rooms with all those equipments or machineries with AC rooms and big halls, conference rooms, that is going to be something where people are not that interested. So you have to be lean. You have to be lean like me. As you are seeing only my head, it's okay. So otherwise, you have to be lean like me, not like Anand. Fine. So something which you have to always think of that. And then about collaboration and coexistence, yes, we have two different views, but I feel yes, we have to collaborate to an extent, but then it should not reduce our competency. That is what the idea of what Anand has said, and Manoj sir also has said that collaboration is a word. Even in our local scenario, hyper localization, that is going to be another way where even business can get enhanced. Like all the geo to all those big timers are coming out with hyper localization tools where you can again collaborate or it can be an aggregator. So in our local setup, still you can even try about these things where you can collaborate the local workers, carpenters to the plumbers to everyone locally. Somebody can create a platform where that village people can utilize their service that can enhance the ecosystem of that village. Why we have to think about a big country, the ecosystem of the country? If we create an ecosystem, economic ecosystem for that village itself, that itself can enhance. That village itself can be self-sufficient. Exchanging of business can happen. The small-time business at least can happen within that. Like there are business networking groups. So I can say there can be business networking groups can happen even in a small village, small township, which can even support those all those small time business people. So even still now, WhatsApp is coming up with this business tool along with Geo. The same way, locally also you can come up with. So technology is going to be the keyword, so rather than having heavy investment and heavy assets. So this is the crux of what we had this 1 hour 20 minutes discussion. In between, we had this technical issue. Apologies for that as well. So please bear with us with that. So by tomorrow, we will somehow rectify this. And this 3 days, tomorrow and Saturday, also is going to be something with entrepreneurships. Tomorrow, we will have discussion with Ms. Swati Bondia, who won actually the youngest business woman. We will be majorly discussing about student entrepreneurship. So how a student can start a company, because she started her first company at the age of 16, and she even got honored by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So that is, when she was a student, and she started a second company at the age of 18 and got even represented SARC countries in United Nations Challenge in Bogota, Colombia. So we will be bringing her tomorrow for discussion about entrepreneurship, about basically student entrepreneurship, not a high-fi stuff. Student entrepreneurship, very crisp. How a student can start a company, what are the benefits, what are the challenges you are going to face. And Saturday, I'm going to have a small insider discussion with my co-founders, like those people who joined with me, that is Ms. Swati and Ms. Jitin Sali. So I will have a discussion on Saturday about how we founded this company. So in between, I may bring in a couple of people like Manoj sir, Srikanth sir, Reddy Kumar, and all those people in between, so that they also can give their views and other things. How we started the company, and then what are the discussion, how we fight, how we think about business, how we manage the crisis, how we manage situations. So we'll have a insider discussion live, which will be happening on Saturday. So thank you so much for watching us, and thank you so much, Srikanth sir. Even though we missed you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anandji, thank you so much, Manoj sir, for your fruitful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's 1 hour 25 minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much. We end this broadcast now. Thank you.
Please,
Thank you.
Yeah.